comb through all your candy, like, nope, can't do this one. And then, of course, like, sometimes I'll be like, but not the, and then it's, like, tossed in the trash. Welcome back to another episode on the Big Dane podcast. How was your week and the weekends? And now everything is just leading up to Halloween. I know, I can't believe it. And I'm excited, but it's also going to be different this year. But you know what? It is what it is. So we have to kind of roll with the punches and just kind of adapt. I know Matt and I were going to just put candy in Ziploc bags. Yeah. Because why not? And then it makes it safe for everyone. And I think I'm just going to get or just save one of our Amazon boxes and then just put the candy in there. So then there's enough room for the bags and trick-or-treaters can just grab what they want. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like, I blinked and wow, here's the Halloween episode because I had to jot it down. I'm like, all right, I gotta plan it so then everything is published for you guys in time and ready to listen, just leading up to Halloween. So I'm super excited to hear what some of your costumes, if you still plan maybe on dressing up or doing something small with friends and, being safe that way. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. I don't have any real updates on any walks because I haven't really seen much and haven't been jogging either because my back has been hurting. So it's been great. Just great. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of do some, different points on Halloween and some of my favorites, what we kind of do every year and things I look forward to, things that we've done in the past or, as a kid. So we're just going to talk about it all. So I hope you're ready. So first off, costumes. I think some people that are really yo, Halloween, this is my holiday. Maybe Christmas is their second. I don't know if they do celebrate, right? So Halloween's number one. It's maybe they plan out as far as 6 months or especially if you create your costume and put it together. Maybe you got to stop at Michael's, do a little online shopping, right? To get those specific things. Or even I realize Etsy is a good source, right? You can get all of those little I'd say vintage, pins or some sort of brooch, right? Or people are like, why, who's wearing a brooch? Yeah, but hey, you never know, this could happen for a costume. But yeah, any random stuff maybe people have been holding on to or collecting and now they're selling. So definitely a good place to look. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of that in between. I really enjoy Halloween. I love it. I love the decorations and all that. But unless I'm really have something planned way far in advance and really want to put something together, then I will. But I wouldn't be doing it 6 months or anything 3 months in advance. I don't know. You get caught up with everything else. And obviously this year's is different. So I didn't really think too hard, to be honest, because I thought, well, what are we going to be really doing anyway? So anywho, I'm curious to see and find out if any of you guys, really enjoy it. One of my best friends, Sam, she absolutely loves it. Like she plans it out. Like, and I swear, like every costume that like she plans out, like it looks fabulous. Like this girl, she puts all of her time and energy into this, and it looks great. It's like what you put into it, it's what you're gonna get out to it. So get out of it. Um, so yeah, I'll tell you, you know, kind of from growing up and things like that, and like um I feel like with, you know, doing costumes as a family, like we kind of did, and I say that because, you know, I'm thinking back on it, it's like I remember it's like me and my brother and my mom like dressing up as like some sort of theme, but then it's like, well, who's taking the picture? Dad. But like dad, like my dad didn't, I don't remember him like be like dressing up, right? Like I'm like, hello. So I don't know. I had to ask him on that, like, Dad, why didn't you just, you know, be something with us? You know, I don't know. So, but curious, like, how you feel about that, like, family or, you know, and all dressing, like, dressing up together, or maybe that's not your thing. You think it's kind of like corny. Um, so yeah, or even, you know, couple costumes. I think that's always fun to do, you know, if you do have a significant other or someone that you're able to do that with, or even like a girlfriend, like um as in like one of your best friends or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I love it. So what are your thoughts on it? I mean, do you typically do that, or is that something that you're like, fuck that? Like, I want to choose my costume. I don't care about these people. Right? So, yeah. So last year, Matt and I, we did serial killers. Mm-hmm. So we literally just got plain t-shirts from Michaels, and then, yeah, I got the idea of Pinterest. I know Pinterest. It's my absolute favorite. It's like my literally my go-to place for like any kind of like ideas, recipes, like home decor, you know, anything, clothing. So I was like, yo, this is so cool, and it's so easy to do, right? So it's like I have a glue gun, just glue all this shit on my shirt, and you just buy the mini cereals. Yeah, they're still around. I know some of you thinking, Dana, do they even have that anymore? You know, you just see the big cereal boxes, but they do. They do. Yeah. And then I just bought like, it was like fake blood online. Um, and the color is just amazing. It's like, wow, this looks really real. Like, it's a little scary. I'm like, I just ordered a pint of blood offline. And it's like, okay, right? So, but yeah, they turned out really great. And that was a fun one to do. I will say, like, you do what Matt, I think, ran into what I remember last year is just like when we took out the blood and just, you know, splattered it, right? It's obviously wet, so it has to dry. And like, we were like kind of like in a rush. I forgot what we were doing that day, but I guess we had like not enough time. So like he walked out and like his shirt, it's just like wet like underneath, and like it's definitely like on his skin like underneath, and it's like hilarious. So if you're gonna do that, just make sure you allow enough time, you know, to let it dry. I think I actually did. I was like, let me just get the blow dryer for you real quick. And we just, you know, did a little bit, but we had to go. So but yeah, that one I really enjoyed, and it was just fun. Oh, and then obviously, like, you know, you want to show that you're a serial killer, right? Stab, stab. So you get just, you know, plastic utensils and just shove them in. And it just stayed. Like, I didn't really need to do anything else. So obviously, you take out the cereal because obviously you're going to want to eat it later. Uh-huh. You know, some Cocoa Puffs or some Count Chocula, maybe some Lucky Charms. Uh-huh. Feel like a kid again. So love that. And then the year prior, this was actually really easy. Didn't really buy anything except I think an ID of April Ludgate. Yeah, so I was April Ludgate and Matt was Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recs. Hilarious. So he actually had to buy a couple of things, but I was like, I'm obviously gonna be myself because I look like Aubrey Plaza to an extent. To an extent, I know some are like, "What are you talking about?" But like, yo, when my chronic bitch face comes on, you see it. When I get tired, you see this come out. So just all night, I couldn't smile. I couldn't make any emotion. I just had to be dead to the world. So love that. And then I'd say like growing up, a fun one we did. So again, bringing it back to me, my mom, my brother, and dad taking the picture. So I was a stormtrooper. Yeah. First grade. I was in first grade. I'm like, yeah, let me be a stormtrooper. What the hell? Like, I don't even know who came up with these ideas. Probably like me and Sky be like, yo, let's do this. And then we're like, Mom. And then he was Darth Vader. And then my mom was Princess Leia. When I find this picture, I know my mom has it at the house somewhere. I could put it up on my coffee account or something for you guys to see. But yeah. And the one thing that I really remember, so like at my elementary school, they would always have a Halloween parade, and that was like the best. Like, this is something you look forward to every year, and it's just like so fun. You know, you're a kid, you're in your costume, you're at school. It's like unheard of. Like, what? And you just feel like so great and like powerful, and so one of my other classmates, uh, so actually he owns Get Found, or he's a co-owner of Get Found here in Conchi. Yeah, so bring it back local. And so Josh was also a stormtrooper too. And so like my dad, we watched the videotape because my dad must have been videotaping us like in the parade. And then rewatching it, my mom's like yelling like, Dana, turn around. And here she was yelling at Josh. I was like, Mom, I'm over here. Because, with the stormtrooper, you were in full mask. Like, you cannot see. It's like, Mom, like, well, I guess at the time, probably me and Josh were the same height. But hey, I was probably a little bit shorter, right? Small Dana. So that was just hilarious. And then one of my other favorite years, Scott and I, we were staying, not the singer, but the wrestler. Whoa, MWO, And so he was old Sting and I was the new Sting because I had long hair, obviously. And it came out so good. Like, we did all the face paint and everything and just had like these mean faces, on. And it was just so great. And then one of the other ones that actually just came to mind too, because this kind of goes back to the parade. I remember walking around the parade in this box. Here I was, the Pokemon cartridge for Game Boy, and then Scott was like walking around as the Game Boy itself. So it was just like hilarious. Like, it just amazed me that like my parents like helped us out so much just to make these like ginormous and like ridiculous costumes. But hey, and then fast forward a little. So now in high school, there was a party going on senior year. One of the girls was having it, and so that's kind of when like it's kind of like my core for me and my three other best friends, and we kind of all like came together, and because Allison and I are best friends, and then Sam and Paige are best friends, and we kind of merged, and then somehow we came up to be Fantas, like the soda. Wanta, don't you wanta, you know what I'm saying? Does that ring any bells? I know I'm not the best singer, but you kind of get the jingle jangle. Yeah, so we were all Fanta sodas. So we'd all just like picked a color and then just did that. Like, and now, I don't know, it kind of stuck even like after that party and like through the rest of the year for high school, and anywhere that, we were going to hang out with someone, and maybe one of my other friends like couldn't make it out of the Fantas, and then they would be like, oh, like where's the other Fanta? So it just kind of stuck, and it was like hilarious. And then even like today, we are like, let's do like, when are we doing a Fanta hangout? Because we're all still like talk together and hang out, and like obviously it's different now because we're older and just trying to find time and to meet and hang out, not like we used to, but so it's still awesome that we still get together and still call each other Fantas. We'll have to do like a recreation one year maybe, but we shall see. Okay, well, enough about costumes, but what about the candy? Who looks forward to just passing out candy to the trick-or-treaters? And more importantly, buying the candy that you want. So you put some aside for yourself, and then the rest you give to the trick-or-treaters. Yep, I'm raising my hand. Who else? Who is with me? I mean, now that you're an adult and, you're not obviously like trick-or-treating, and, now some of my friends, like, they have kids or whatnot, or maybe cousins or whoever that, are young and you could take around, but I don't have any of that. So, I just wait by the door, and now it's fun, like, being back in Conchi. My neighbors are all into it, and last year I was able to hang out with them and kind of meet them and chit chat, and so many trick-or-treaters were bopping around, and all the adults have their drinks in their hand. They got their red Solo cups, and it's just nice. It's nice that everyone is enjoying it. They're taking their kids around. The adults, they're just having a great time and just seeing all the lights and whatnot. So I just like stayed outside the whole time and then just hung out. I didn't even like go back in. So it was kind of cool. Um, and then like, what about, um, you know, when you did used to trick or treat, how about the houses where they would give away the giant size candy bars? I mean, that was like the best thing. Like, you get to that house and then you realize, like, holy shit, like, yo, this is a giant Hershey bar. It was just like, it just like blew your mind, right? And I don't know, it just seemed like the coolest thing. Like, just because you don't, your parents aren't buying you like large candy bars like every day or on a weekly basis. And now it's like Halloween, like, here it is. But some of my favorite candies that I remember, I would love the Milky Way for sure. What about 100 grand? I feel like you don't see that a whole lot. Or I know some people can take it or leave it. The Whoppers. I like a good malted chocolate ball, right? Why not? The crunch, crispy, the crunch, you know. For some reason, I do remember like not loving Reese cups that much, but I mean now like I'll eat peanut butter and chocolate anything. So it's just kind of interesting how your taste buds change a bit. I feel like even though the whole thing with candy corn, a lot of people don't like it. I love it, but you didn't see that in like when you go around a trick or treat, like they only made one size bag. I mean, I never had an experience where they made these like little kind of like, I'm gonna say snack size candy corn pouches. You would think they would have done something. Brox, where you at? Where you at on this one? Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, candy corn, I like it. Do you like it? Or do you think it's absolutely disgusting? Like, get that shit away from me. Like, I avoid that at the grocery store and just go straight for the great bag candy bars. I don't know. You tell me. But I do remember, like, my parents, like, well, I shouldn't say my parents because my dad can't have chocolate, but my mom every now and then would eat some of my candy. Yeah, yeah. Um, but one recipe that I actually found in the past couple years is candy corn cookies. Okay. Now, as I just said how I love it, of course I'm going to love the candy corn cookies. Okay. But if you don't like candy corn that much, you see it and then you avoid it. Yeah. It's a different little taste. Like once you bake it, it's a little different. Plus, you add white chocolate chips, makes it so much better, and like the texture and the chewiness and sweetness of it. Yeah, it's from Avery Cooks. Avery Cooks, yeah. She is the best cookies. I go there so often on her site to like just get some ideas. Like, what can I bake now? But that was the best discovery I found. And now it's kind of like a tradition. Like, I make it every year. In fact, I still need to make them. But I'll say I'll probably either make it for Halloween or even like for like Thanksgiving or something like that. So, but regardless, I will need to be making them in the next month. So look out for maybe some pictures. Yeah. Don't hate, appreciate. Okay, well, that was a little lame, but you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be judging. You gotta taste these, okay? So I'm gonna start, making deliveries. It's like, no, I'll just send you to the website to, here's the recipe. Anyway, was there any candy that you didn't really like getting? Like, I just remember getting a ton of chocolate. I'd say every now and then, like, Nerds or a Nerds rope. It's like, who's giving out Nerds rope? Those are giant. Maybe the houses with the giant candy bars. Airheads, I didn't, like, really love. No, doesn't really do anything for me. But I will say, every, 10th candy, you're going through your candy bag, aka your pillowcase, yeah, and you're like, oh, what is this? This is in a plastic bag and the candy is unwrapped. Get rid of it. Get rid of it now. Don't touch it. Yeah, kind of freaks you out. Like, what are people doing? There's crazy people out there. Yeah. So you got to be careful. Any kind of damaged candy. Like, I remember, like, my parents would help us go through it. Like, okay, like, let's look at it, and kind of, like, comb through all your candy. Like, nope, can't do this one. And then, of course, like, sometimes I'll be like, but not the, and then it's, like, tossed in the trash. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, so I want to hear some of your stories. One other thing that came to mind too, like when we used to go trick-or-treating and, with October, like sometimes Halloween's like warmer, other times it could be cold as shit. So it's like, you gotta be ready. And I would say, like, whose mom, I think everyone's mom or dad was saying, or grandma, whoever you lived with, right? Like, hey, you have to wear your turtleneck. Be like choking me. I'm like, I can't breathe, Mom. You go out and whatever, but I mean, who's with me, right? So many turtlenecks, so many times that you feel like you can't breathe. But yeah, I mean, and I feel like I trick-or-treated, I think up until, let's see, I remember being with my good friend Elise and going over in her neighborhood in North Wales, and maybe it was like we were 15, I want to say. It was kind of like on the edge, like, should we go out, should we not? I mean, I look young as it is, so it's like they'd be like, girlfriend, you're 5 years old. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, give me candy. um, so yeah, like, what was your cutoff point? Was it high school? Was it middle school? I remember, to be honest, like when I would go around with my childhood best friend in her neighborhood, and we would see like one of our classmates, and they would like answer the door with like their mom or dad, and then I thought it was like you're not trick or treating, and I thought it was like the strangest thing as a kid. I thought, what do you mean you're not trick or treating? This is fucking free candy that you're gonna have for the entire rest of the year. Like, you gotta take advantage of it. But then it's like, with different cultures, things like that, you don't know what kind of parenting, and well, shame on Halloween. Like, you don't want to participate in that because that's how every parent sounds like. Or who knows, like maybe, their parents like get home late from work, and then they at that point don't feel like trick-or-treating and whatever. So I don't know, but I loved going to Allie's neighborhood. There was so many houses. We would just go around and just get it all. And I remember the one house, they like had their garage open. It was like kind of creepy. We were kind of like nervous to go in, but like all these like strobe lights, there was like the fake spider webs and whatnot, and it was just like, holy cow, like, am I gonna come out like alive? So yeah, it was pretty wild. And then I'll tell you one quick story too, with Allie. So her and I, we went to the same orthodontist. Surprise, surprise, because we literally did, I'm telling you, like everything together. So our orthodontist, he had this bomb ass party, you know, over, I think it was like kind of like near Audubon, and it was all rented out. It had catered food, and there was like so many people. And my mom, I remember her saying like how surprised she like was with like the turnout of how many people were there, and there was just like contests going on. And um I remember they had like kind of like a lip sync, like dance off kind of contest going on. And, with it being a Halloween party and things like that, like obviously you're going to extend it to your family, slash, he said it was like obviously okay. So my brother, our siblings are there. So we all did this recreation of larger than life. Backstreet Boys, the BSB. And obviously we knew all the words, and it was hilarious. Like, here we are in our costumes, me, Allie, Chip, and Dale, and we're just like dancing around and lip syncing. We're like, yo, we got this. We just won the lip sync, duh. And that's another story for you guys on that. But yeah, we end up winning. It was like best song. I don't know what to be exactly, but yeah, but it was just the most amazing thing that a kid could, I think, experience. And like, for it to be your orthodontist, like, whoa, what's up, so yeah, did your doctors or dentists or orthodontists or someone have like something really cool and had this party, or whatever? Why don't you tell me about it? All right, tell me about it. Send me a message. You can go to thebigdanepodcast.com/contact, and you can contact me that way. All right, and you can stay on the podcast. You can meet me here on my podcast. It's like, so you want to stay on the website, right? BigDanePodcast.com/podcast. So once you're there, you're going to want to subscribe. Select your favorite platform: Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Apple. I think I got it all. So, yeah. select whatever you want. Tell your friends, share, leave me a review, please. Would greatly appreciate it. I need the support. So yeah, just take 30 seconds and you can go to ratethispodcast.com/the Big Dane podcast. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode and now are all hyped up for Halloween. And have a great week. All right, bye. Peace out.